So yesterday we spoke about the need for revolution, not evolution. Today we're going to talk about the need for imminence and innovation. That's right, some more shun words. I think they even made reference to my revolution over evolution tweet on Heart and Hand on the podcast. That'd be pretty amazing if that was what it actually was. If it was actually my tweet, that'd be pretty amazing, wouldn't it? Anyway, we're going to talk obviously about this Jose Cordoba move, which appears to be moving closer. Phillipe Clement also talked about the fact that we need to be innovative with our transfers this summer, and I think that is something that we need to look at and need to address. So look, let's deal, of course. Let's deal with the imminence, the imminence yes, of Jose Cordoba, a name that has been repeatedly linked with Rangers in the past few weeks. At one point, this transfer was thought to be under threat from Norwich City, of all teams. However, it now appears that is not the case, and that Cordoba has chosen Rangers over Norwich. Apparently, Norwich also did withdraw their interest in the player. I think probably after they failed to gain promotion to the Premier League and were pretty much humiliated by playoff losers Leeds United. So Jose Cordoba apparently is imminent. Now, how do we know he's imminent? What's telling us that he's imminent? What is the rumours? What is the reports that are going around at this moment in time? Now, as I said on the podcast last night, which Curry joked about, there is reports currently that Rangers last night checked somebody into a 5-star hotel in the Glasgow area, reportedly a new player for a medical. That was one of the rumours that was going around, or reports that were certainly coming out of the club yesterday. This was also a tweet that was, or an X, or whatever you want to call it, that was put out by Matteo Moretto. And you may say, Matteo Moretto, who is he? Why should we care about what Matteo Moretto says? It isn't Fabrizio Romano. So why do we pay attention? Well, Matteo Moretto is one of the foremost transfer experts after Romano, a very well-respected transfer expert. He is also followed, interestingly, by our director of recruitment, Niels Koppen, who to me still looks like a cross between Nicholas Raskan and Ange Postecoglou in that photograph. Matteo Moretto tweeted out the following. Now, we'll do it in Italian and then I'll translate it into English for you. Jose Cordoba está a punta de ficha por el Glasgow Rangers. El club esos se ha tomado 24 to 48 horas para decidir si será la operación con el Levski Sofia antes las dudas, that's a great word, isn't it, del jugador por jugar es un club históricamente tan importante. Now, you're all thinking, we don't speak Italian. No, we don't. But we do speak English, and it has been translated. So it translates as this: Jose Cordoba is about to sign for Glasgow Rangers. That's what the first sentence says in their ficha, is the verb to sign. The Scottish club has taken 24 to 40 hours to decide whether to close the operation with Levski Sofia due to the player's doubts about playing for such a historically important club. Apparently, there was a delay, like I said, over this because of is it the pressure? Is it that's or the weight of the shirt, or the fact that maybe he doesn't think he's ready, or he didn't think at that point that he was ready to play for such a massive club as Rangers? It now appears that is not the case, and that Cordoba is ready to commit his future to Glasgow. Now, it was at the weekend said that he said his goodbyes to the Levski Sofia fans and players, and that he is ready to move on. So it does appear that the Cordoba deal will go through very, very soon. And it's firstly, I think the first step on the road to recruiting a new defence. We do need a very new defence. I think, we need a new right back. We need 2 new centre backs. Great news for me that Leon Balogun was given a new contract. I think he is just a squad player. He's not a starter. I think there's a lot of people getting their knickers in a twist over it, and wrongly so, in my opinion. I think Balogun is a good re-sign. But Cordoba, he's quick, he's good, he's left-footed, he's a natural left-sided balance to this team, which is something we've missed all season. He's decent in the air. He's just over 6 foot. He breaks the lines well with his passing. He brings it out from the back. as I mentioned on previous videos. So I think this is a good signing for the club and a positive signing for the club. And I think it all leads into this comment that was made by Phillipe Clement about the need for the club to be innovative in its signings, the need for an innovative transfer policy. Now, I think this has a number of meanings. I don't think it's just one solitary meaning that this comment from Phillipe Clement has. I think it's innovative in terms of the markets we are looking at, in terms of where we're going for players, what we're doing in terms of tracking down these top quality talents. Reports tonight as well that we have scouts in Austria, apparently looking at Austrian club players who play for Austrian teams, not necessarily just Austrian players, but players that play for Austrian clubs. That is the rumor that scouts are currently in Austria. It seems that there is really a diversity in the markets we are currently addressing in terms of bringing in players, and no longer are we following the traditional model of just let's look down south, let's look at what they've got in the championship and try and pick off that. Pick off the bones of the championship. It very much is a case now of let's spread the net as far and wide as possible. I think this man here, Niels Koppen, is having a big role in that. You know, he's taking a very PSV type strategy towards the signing of players. A very much the case of, you know, spreading that net, looking at markets where players are not going to cost the earth. Now, obviously, he hasn't got the budget that he had at PSV. PSV do obviously have a substantially higher budget because of the fact that, you know, they have generated a whole lot more through their player sales. I mean, you know, you look at his past history. I mean, he obviously went out and recruited from the Belgian club Genk. Sabari, Ismail Sabari, who is one of the top midfielders for PSV Eindhoven at this moment in time, brought him to their youth system and brought him through the youth system there. You know, and it's not just him. You know, there are other players within that PSV system that, again, he went and he looked in different leagues, you know, not necessarily top leagues, and brought in players. You know, another player that he is responsible for bringing in is Noah Lang. Another player, again, that he went to, to Belgium, a guy who'd had track record in Holland with Ajax, starting his career, coming through the youth system at Ajax and Feyenoord before going to play for Club Brugge. He was then signed from Club Brugge by PSV. Again, another move by Niels Koppen. Another player again, where he went to Belgium this time, yet again to Belgium, to Anderlecht's youth academy and brought in Johan Bakayoko. So again, he has this kind of track record of finding these good young players from academies or from clubs from lesser leagues and bringing them in, and then obviously those players are then sold on for, you know, a great deal more money. But before they're sold on, they have a massive effect for PSV Eindhoven, and that certainly is, I think, you know, what he's doing here. So the innovation kind of comes there, like I said, through the markets we are looking at and the types of players we are looking at now. Certainly players that I don't think you ever in the past would have thought that Rangers would have looked at. You know, not certainly going to markets like Austria, Bulgaria, Denmark, South America, Asia, you know, looking all around, you know, the world for these players and not necessarily just relying on players from the English Championship. And like I said, I think we have to trust him. He has a very good record in terms of bringing in players. I mean, you look also at the likes of, you know, Ibrahim Sangare, who was transferred for, I think it's 15 to 16 million to Nottingham Forest. He came through the youth setup at Toulouse in France. Again, you know, coming through one of the less fashionable clubs in France. So Koppen has got a very, very good track record. Reports also, like I said tonight, that, you know, that not only is the Cordoba deal imminent, but, you know, we're looking at other players there. You know, reports that what's he called again? Traore, the Adama Traore, not the Spanish one, the Malian one, is again another player that he's gone out and looked at. Again, very PSV Eindhoven style, looking at those lesser, so that the smaller clubs in Europe, Ferencváros, who do have a good European tradition. You know, Adama Traore, who was part of that Sheriff Tiraspol team that actually beat Real Madrid in the Champions League. So I think that's the first innovative he looks at. And I think also, you know, it's in terms of making money go further, using money very wisely. You know, we're not going to have the transfer budget that the EPL have, that the EFL have, that, you know, the top clubs in Europe have. And, you know, we are one of the top clubs, certainly, but we're not in the transfer leagues of the likes of Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, even Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atleti, all those clubs, for example. So I think another one is innovation in terms of how we use the money, how we use the budgets. We've got to bring in different players to spread payments, to vary, those approaches. And also, I think as well, use the Bosman market, use the loan market, and vary how we bring in players. I think that is another element of that innovative strategy that Clement speaks about. And I think, Koppen has certainly demonstrated that he is ready to do that, and he is ready to use that innovative strategy through what he has already done at the club. You look at, certainly, like I said, the moves of Diamande, who came from Norgesland, the signing of Cortez, who came from Lons. Again, following a very traditional pattern that he has followed previously in terms of signing players. So, and that track record, like I said, is very, very good. So let's hope that continues at Rangers. Right. Another piece of news: the loan agreement for Abdallah Sima ends on the 31st of May 2024. That is when we have him officially on loan till. Abdallah has been one of the top players on our team. I know he's missed a number of games with injury this season, but his record of 39 games, 16 goals, 2 assists, that's 18 goal contributions in 39, including 11 league goals, 3 Europa League goals, 1 Champions League goal, and 1 League Cup goal. And he should have had 1 SFA Cup goal as well on Saturday, in my opinion. So, he's a quality player. He's direct, he's quick, he's skillful. He certainly is a very, very talented player. But the whole issue around Sima is, what do Brighton want for him? How much are Brighton going to demand to for us to be able to buy Abdallah Sima? I don't think Abdallah's made it any secret, the fact that he likes playing for Rangers. Well, he loves being at the club, he loves Glasgow, he loves being here, he feels settled here. And I think if there is a deal to be done, the club will try and get it done. I think if we can hang on to Abdallah Sima, bring in the likes of Adama Traore, bring in that Mofa Keng, the South African, it's going to give us an awful lot of talent in wide areas. Certainly we've had a lack of talent in those wide areas this season, either through injury or through just, poor signings that were made by Michael Beale. The transfer market currently values Abdallah Sima at around €7 million, which is around about 6.4 million pounds. I don't think that is an unreasonable amount to pay for someone with the track record and the talent of Abdallah Sima. Now, I hear what some Rangers fans are saying in terms of the fact that they say he's had a number of injuries, and that may put the fear in, is he just another one of these players that is constantly out injured? I mean, that is a worry, but I think in terms of Abdallah Sima, what he brings to Rangers, he is outright quality, and I really hope that something can be done. Now, it is today the 28th of May, so we've only got 3 days to make a decision. I mean, he will then go back to his club. Once he's back at Brighton, you then obviously they're having to negotiate with the club. There is no obligation to buy or no option to buy in his contract. It was a pure loan deal for the player. So, it's going to be down to Niels Koppen, to Craig Robertson, to James Bisgrove to try and work on a deal with Brighton. Now, Brighton are in a difficult position with the fact that De Zerbi, their manager, has left. Sam Jewell has left. There's a number of top officials at Brighton have gone. So, the future direction of the club is one that is up for question at the moment. So, what's going to happen to Abdallah Sima? I don't think this is going to be a quick one. I don't think it's one that's going to be sort of resolved within the next couple of days or the next couple of weeks. I think it's one that could run throughout the summer, but he's certainly a player that I hope that we can secure the services of. He is an exceptionally talented player. Well, guys, let me know what you think of the stories we've covered in today's video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you didn't check out the podcast last night with myself and the indomitable Curry Muncher, please obviously check it out. Please give the channel a sub, help us to keep on growing as we move towards our 6,000 sub target. We're still obviously working towards that. I think we're on 5,697 at time of recording, I think, as we continue our forward progress. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, 2 things I ask of you on the way out. 1, smash the like, it beats the algorithm. And 2, remember always, even more important these days, we are the people.